Hi guys, so today like always we'll be doing some hand-eye coordination, and I've got 5 little quick exercises for you just to develop that great skill. The first one will always be 5 repetitions of all the exercises. So before we start, 5 repetitions of all the exercises. The first one will start by throwing with the dominant hand, which either be the left or the right hand depending on yourself, and catching with both hands. So in this case, I'll be throwing with my right hand and catching with both hands. 5 repetitions, guys. So that's basically what you will do. 5 repetitions of throwing with your dominant hand and catching with both hands. The next exercise will be to throw firstly with your dominant hand and catching with your dominant hand. Okay, again, 5 repetitions. Now you can throw it as high as you want to. 5 repetitions on your dominant hand. The next exercise will be on your non-dominant hand, which would be in this case my left hand. I would use my left hand exactly the same way, just throwing it up in the air, catching it. 5 repetitions. So again, only 5 repetitions of each exercise. The next one is where it gets a little bit tricky. I would throw with my dominant hand and catch with my non-dominant hand, and then vice versa. So the first one, 5 repetitions of throwing with my dominant hand, which is my right hand, and catching with my left, which is my non-dominant hand. And then after that, after I completed 5 repetitions, I would throw with my non-dominant hand and catch with my right hand, which is my dominant hand. 5 repetitions, guys. So let's do that and enjoy. Right, guys, now I also have 2 different types of balls for you. Now this is just to explain to you that a different size ball will actually just change the dynamic of the exercise. So it can either make it a little bit harder depending on the size of the ball, or it can make it a little bit easier depending again on the size of the ball. Now again, I would say that a much smaller ball will at first be easier to catch, but the moment you throw it higher, it becomes difficult. Whereas a bigger ball might be harder to catch, but it's easier to spot and your eyes track it. So guys, again, you can mix up the dynamics of these exercises by using different sized balls. Now I also want to show you that if you don't have a ball, you may just use something that you see in your everyday lifestyle or in your house, such as a water bottle. In this case, guys, I chose a water bottle. Now, each of us somewhere might have a little water bottle which we can use. So if you don't have a ball, you can use a water bottle, and it serves the same purpose. Again, I can do the same 5 exercises with a water bottle. First one, which would be throwing with the dominant hand, catching with both hands. The second one, remember this one, firstly, throwing with the dominant hand and catching with the dominant hand. Throwing with the non-dominant hand and catching with the non-dominant hand. And then the more trickier one, which is throwing with the dominant hand, catching with the non-dominant hand, and vice versa. So guys, you can either use a water bottle or anything that you can find in your home to just make it easier for yourself. Right, guys, this is the final part, and this is for you to level up your hand and eye coordination. Now this might be a little bit difficult, but it's awesome to try. So 3 exercises. The first one would be the easier one. So basically just throwing the ball in the air, clapping and catching with both hands. Now you can determine how many times do you want to clap. So you can do it either twice or 3 times or even more. It's your choice. The other one, which is still in the same exercise, is just throwing with one hand, clapping and catching with one hand. Now you can do that with both the dominant hand and the non-dominant hand, just to help you develop this skill. Right, guys, this would be the second exercise. Now again, these exercises get harder each time, these 3 exercises. You determine the level of difficulty of these exercises. So the second exercise would be throwing the ball up in the air, making 2 claps, 1 in front of your body and 1 behind. So let me demonstrate. Firstly, I'll throw with my dominant hand and catch with both hands. Now you can also do it in this sequence by throwing with your dominant hand, catching with both hands, and then doing the one with your dominant, catching with your dominant, throwing with your non-dominant and catching with your non-dominant. So it would look something like this. Try that one. Right guys, exercise number 3 of leveling up your hand and eye coordination. Now again, these 3 exercises is just a level up of all the other exercises that I just showed. Now this one might sound easy, but don't let it deceive you. This basic exercise is throwing the ball up in the air with your dominant or non-dominant hand and catching it with both hands while you had a spin. So how it works is you're going to throw it, you're going to take a spin and catch it again. Now like I said, don't let this deceive you. It's a lot harder than you think. Okay, so firstly, let me demonstrate. I'm going to catch with both hands, throw with my dominant hand. Just like that, guys.